We have a very special guest with us, Ms. Monica Bhatia of the Global Forum, and she's been championing and driving the effort on the exchange of information, especially the automatic exchange of information. Madam, we saw a riveting discussion today right now on the practical protection of taxpayer rights. Some would say fireworks on taxpayer rights, balancing of taxpayer rights versus the revenue authorities' requirement for that information. Is that balance elusive to find?
I think that balance is not elusive to find at all, and I think that balance is adequately struck in the Global Forum Standard, which incorporates Article 26 of the OECD Model Convention and the Article 26 of the UN Model Convention. So the standard is based on that. It talks about the taxpayers' protection of their rights, safeguarding their rights, and confidentiality of the data that is exchanged. But it says that the rights and safeguards should not be such that they frustrate effective exchange of information. So in that sense, the requirement also is that there should be exceptions to prior notification of taxpayers. And these exceptions should be there in certain cases, in certain specific cases, such as where the information that is needed is for an investigation that is very urgent in nature, for example. Secondly, where there is a risk that the investigation being done by a requesting authority could be jeopardized. For example, the taxpayer could destroy information, or he could destroy evidence, and that would frustrate the investigation. So I think that balance has already been struck here, in my view, and that's what's reflected in the Global Forum's peer review process.
For example, if I get specific, and one clear area of disagreement that emerged, a very civil disagreement though, but quite an interesting debate on the use of stolen data, for example, where Mr. Philip Baker quite labored the point, tried to drive it home forcefully, that stolen data should not be used. What would you say? Because clearly, I think your viewpoint was that you cannot tie the hands of the revenue authorities.
Well, I don't have that particular viewpoint. It was a question that I raised for the audience it's a food for thought. The Global Forum will take its views in the course of its peer review reports. I mentioned the report of Luxembourg, where a view was taken that Luxembourg's blanket refusal or a complete refusal to provide any information was not in accordance with the standard. But this question is still an ongoing issue. And the question that I had raised was that there is on one side the principle of the fruit of the poison tree, and on the other side, it should not be giving complete immunity to taxpayers that they can actually provide their information in a CD that gets leaked, and then the hands of the revenue authorities are completely tied, and they can't ask for information from the other states. So the balance between the taxpayers' rights as well as the obligation of the tax authorities to collect the information and to enforce the law, and that's an obligation that they owe to all citizens and all residents and all other taxpayers. So striking that balance is where we have to reflect on.
I think the most often used quote during that session was "fruits of the poison tree." It's just that which part of the debate you're on. But I think another point that was made again by Mr. Philip Baker, quite interesting, is I think the question or the line of argument was, should we trust the OECD or the 12 countries to judge another many dozen of them on whether they can be trusted, whether they can actually protect the minefield of data information they're going to get through the exchange of information process, and how would you like to reassure them?
Well, first of all, it's not 12 countries looking at 12 other countries. I think it was too simplified there. There is a panel of 12 experts that will prepare an initial report, and these experts drawn from very diverse countries within the Global Forum members. They will evaluate all other countries. They're not going to evaluate 12 others. They will evaluate 95. But that's only a preliminary evaluation. The actual analysis will be done by the Global Forum members and all the countries that are committed to doing automatic exchange of information. So it's a very robust process which will go through different stages. And so that's the comfort that is there, that if 95 countries are assured about can trust one country, I think there is reasonable basis to believe that country is trustworthy. And the process also involves addressing of all the concerns that are raised by any individual country. So it's a much wider concept, very similar to the Global Forum.
But are the countries prepared, madam? For example, we are talking of 1995 countries. You all have done a lot of, the peer review reports,
Yes.
many processes. Are those countries prepared to handle the deluge of information that's going to flood them? For example, the person from US said that the United States is now struggling to cope up with the incoming data on FATCA. That's going to be the case with practically dozens of countries who are going to be deluded with information.
Well, the process, the confidentiality and safeguards process, that the evaluation that is being done is one of the things it's going to assess is how are they going to handle that information? Are they going to be able to keep it safe? Are they going to be able to handle it properly? And that's one concern that is there, and that's why the process is there to do that assessment. And it's going to be an ongoing process. It's not that one assessment is done and story is over, because this is a concern that pervades all along this process, and it will be done on an ongoing basis. And even after the exchanges have started, before the exchanges have started, after the exchanges have started, and there's ongoing monitoring throughout. So I think that's a fairly robust process that is put in place, and I don't think there's any reason not to trust the process.
2 years ago at Copenhagen Congress, IFA, when I interviewed you, automatic exchange of information was still new, was the latest buzzword. In 2 years, we've come a long way. It's seen the reality of the day. You're happy with the way things have panned out, and how do you see this moving forward over the next 12 months?
Well, I'm obviously very, very happy that the way it has panned out. I think it has exceeded everybody's expectations in this regard. We did expect that this would happen. I think FATCA was the main cause why this happened, the main driver of this move. And I think part of the drive also amongst, and the ready acceptance of this process also, was their frustration with the exchange of information on request process, where countries noted that it was taking a long time. There were a lot of obstructions to getting information, and delays were there. So the ready acceptance was actually a result of some of those frustrations. And I think that in the next 12 months, I think that the focus is to complete the confidentiality evaluations, because this is of concern for everyone, and rightly so. So that's one concern and focus. And second is to make sure we are able to assist all those committed jurisdictions in implementing automatic exchange of information. That's a huge concern as well. Are they ready? Are they equipped? Do they know what to do? Because the timelines are approaching very fast. So our focus is making sure that the implementation assistance is there. And of course, monitoring to make sure that nobody slips from the timelines. That's very important as well, because there's timelines of 2017, there's timelines of 2018. So our focus is that everybody should be able to meet those timelines, and we should be able to provide all the help, assistance, and guidance, and facilitate implementation of automatic exchange. And I have no reason to feel that it's not going to be implemented at time. I'm pretty optimistic about it and very positive about it, and I think we will see a successful rollout of automatic exchange.
Thank you so much, madam, for your time. You're going to be very busy over the next 12 months. Catch you soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you.